Ladies and gentlemen, what we have today is Metaphore, ReFantazio, the Royal Tournament trailer, which we're going to go through. We'll look at it once, and then we'll stop action it the second time around to take a closer look at everything that's going on. This is fracking amazing. From Studio Zero, Atlas, Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne, Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5 team. The gang is back together. Without further ado, let us proceed.
It's a story about a world very different from ours.
'Tis a world where all people are equal and no conflict exists, much like the world His Highness once dreamt of.
To put it another way, this is a fantasy.
The fool of a king is dead!
Without an heir to wear the crown, what will become of the royal magic?
The fortress at the border was raised by a human mere days ago! You can only blame your king's weakness! Who deserves his crown? A man of proven strength!
The people of my land desire a new king, and I shall provide.
Welcome one and all to the inauguration of the tournament for the throne!
Small wonder when any among the populace might be king.
Their speeches of tribal harmony mean nothing, when every day they cheat and abuse us!
It tells of a world united as one tribe.
If only our lives were anything like the world we know.
Our lives are decided at birth by tribal purity, followed by the differences that make us who we are.
There was a plot of his life. One I wish I could have done sooner.
You're no ray of hope!
You gave up on your hopes, but I will not.
See what manner of story you'll weave.
Let's do it. You'll be a hero. Trust me.
Righty. That was a lot. Let's go back through it a little bit, shall we? Now, as you know, I'm not an Xbox or a Microsoft guy, although PC gaming is kind of cool. More of the PlayStation sort, not a Nintendo guy, but whatever. This will be out on all platforms, by the way. Absolutely Xbox, absolutely PS5, absolutely PC. So whenever this thing drops, which I think is late 2024, I think they said autumn, it'll be playable on day one. And I will be there for it. So much happening in 2024. Anyway, we're going to do the stop action. I have no dual screens happening. I got one big screen, but the way the setup is, don't worry about it. So I'm not going to be able to see myself. And that bothers me because I'm a vain person. Just kidding. So, without further ado, we're going to step through it. We're going to stop action. And we're going to try to get a sense of the world and what's happening. We're not listening to the dialogue too much. You just heard it. But we will stop and read things on the screen. So, be mindful. That's the sort of video this is. It's not a review. It's just a kind of a dive, we'll say 20 fathoms under the surface. So, let us proceed. And I should probably get my damn face off of this so you can just hear my voice, because I will be leaning into the screen a little bit to read things and to look at finer detail. I do wear glasses, but you know how it goes. Anyway, let's do that first. And now I am no longer there while I'm here, of course. And so the first thing that we see, I think there's 3 races in here. There's the humans, there's the horned race, and then there's the ear race. So I don't know what they're calling them, whatever, let us proceed.
Story.
The book. So I think they live in an authoritarian world, and this book is a book of quote-unquote equality, which is the fantasy, which I think is the primary goal of the end story. We'll see more of that in a bit.
About a world very different from ours.
It is a world where all people are equal and no conflict exists, much like the world His Highness once dreamt of.
So right off the bat, we've got the protagonist with the differently colored eyes. And I forget what the technical term for that is, but it was also very prominent in the Trails into Reverie game. Keep that in mind. And as a note, David Bowie was also a natural, differently colored eye dude. So, something special about that.
His Highness once dreamt of.
To put it another way,
Okay, so here we have the party, or a party, the main character, and I'll return to this, but he has the same colored hair as the protag from Persona 3. And we'll see other similarities as we go through. So I think this game ultimately, and I'll say this as an umbrella statement right now, this game has a blend of Shin Megami Tensei 3 and Persona 3. We'll see some similarities as we go through.
this is
And the art, the animation style is just absolutely immaculate in this. I am so looking forward to this.
a fantasy.
So in this reverse pyramid, this upside down pyramid that we see here, and I'm pointing with my mouse pointer, but you can't see it. It's right in front of you. There are actual buildings across the United States of America that are inverted pyramids. There's one, or there was one, I don't know if it's still there or not, but it was a bank in Tempe, Arizona that was just like this. Not as big as that, but it was 2 to 3 stories tall. Very strange looking to see a pyramid inverted in the actual space with no pillars holding it up or anything. Anyway, we'll proceed. It's an interesting structure. The Fool of a King is dead. So we start out with a murder, apparently, which is going to set the entire story up. And the primary villain, which kind of reminds me of like a Griffith character from Berserk. And if you haven't seen the original Berserk, don't watch the new versions. The new versions are fine, but the original version of Berserk, when it came out on DVD and it's still NTSC or PAL sized, that's the one to watch. That's the Berserk to watch. But anyway, this guy reminds me kind of like a Griffith character.
Without an heir to wear the crown, what would...
And then we have this strange scene here where I guess we're scanning the field, an open field area, and we can see that it is, in fact, let me change that. Let me change something here so I can point. I can point at things. Give me 1 second here. Settings. Nope. Let's go to window capture, properties, show the cursor. All right, we're showing the cursor. And we are going along. All right, the cursor is there. Okay, so, whoa. Gotta go back. Back. Baby back. Baby's got back. Yes, we went back.
Without an heir to wear the crown.
Okay, so number one, in this field of view, we see that we're scanning the environment. And I assume that our Pixie, get it? Shin Megami Tensei, Pixie, is scanning the field for us. She's like our combat support. We can see the character is level 1, that's the protagonist. And then we see that we have a calendar and a mission. And of course, a mini-map. And we can see where we are. We're on the Tradia Desert main road. It is 0602 Waters Day afternoon. And our mission is to reach the royal capital. All right, and it seems like we have some enemies ahead of us, or those things, those monsters we have to get through. We get a fuller view of what's happening. And the other interesting thing about this screen is that it's 31 degrees Celsius, which means it's about 72 degrees. Thereabouts. 72 degrees Fahrenheit for all of us in America. And I'm wondering, because of like the Persona and the SMT influences, I think that this is going to become a mechanic. You know, maybe you can fight better, fight worse when it's warmer, when it's cooler, but there's obviously a reason. And this star they have here is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's an 8-sided star, which is mercurial, which means that it's like intellect focused. But we'll see if that plays out. It's basically two squares turned upon themselves. Anyway, level 1, 124 hit points, 75 MP. One character in the party. Proceed. Then we have this strange bit of intro combat where we can say that it's unknown level, all right? And these are hyenas, which are obviously plays on hyenas. They're just desert-dwelling dogs, to say. But then it moves into, and pay close attention to this, it moves into like a weird, kind of like on the field, group combat, sort of a, I don't know what they call that sort of a game. Masame? Is that when you attack, you know, hundreds of enemies at one point? And I don't know if that's just some way to clear the field when you're traversing it, or if it's just you can do some damage before you actually get into the battle, which are probably turn-based. Right there. See how he just took a swipe? Some are going to fall, some are going to disappear. This right here might be a health bar. The fairy is up here. So she's obviously on the combat field, but she's not participating.
The fortress.
And we can see that these black, oily, smoky images throughout here are the enemies that we've destroyed with this one frackin' swing. And this art style is just absolutely amazing. I love it. It's like a well-balanced combination of like pastel, not pastel, but the, what do you call it? It's the, I'll remember the term in a minute. It's the more anime sort of coloring scheme, blended with like a realism of the 3D graphics. I'm a huge supporter of this sort of art, because when I play games, I don't want like the photorealistic. I mean, that's not always exciting. This gives the game developers and the game artists and the game graphic designers more flexibility to put their art into the game. I completely support it. And then we have this, another coming into battle, and I don't know if the squad Obviously, the Y is an Xbox or a Microsoft or a PC button press. This is probably like the triangle, but what the squad is, who knows? And we're in a different mission, rescue the survivors, head up the tower, right? So obviously we're being led by the nose, at least at this part of the game, to go and do certain things at certain times. And we see that we have another party member who does not have a name or an actual, count. So they're probably a guest at this point. I would say this is a guest party character just to help out your level 1 character who still has 124 HP and 75 MP at that time.
Was raised by
And then we see that moving into the combat, that the fairy is on our shoulder. And if I can stop this at the right time.
was raised.
There. She takes off, and we're getting targeted by this creature, right? We know that we're getting targeted, so this is like a field fight, and it's like maybe who hits who first. But the fairy's going to go up there and I think analyze. And it looks like everybody's getting ready for combat. And we can see that we're here at the Northern Border Fort, Royal Army Camp. All very fascinating. And it looks fracking fantastic.
Raised by
So we're fighting on the field. 5 that hit took out 5 hit points, I would say. Don't know what the yellow bar is. I'd say green is probably hit points.
human being.
And yes, so it looks like 5 hit points disappeared here. There's some other action going on. I'm not quite sure what all that means as yet.
Days ago.
And then we get this kind of like screen tear action happening. And the yellow bar is completely depleted. Does that mean that maybe it's like a stamina? Maybe if we hit them enough times on the field, hit the enemy Monstar enough times on the field, it depletes their stamina yellow bar. And then when it's completely depleted, we go into turn-based combat. Which sounds like that might be like the new Kurono Kaseki game. Kurono Kaseki game that's coming out also in 2024. The new series of Trails, Legend of Heroes, Trails into Dawn, or whatever they call it.
You can
And then we get another screen tear. That's interesting. But what happens after? Okay, it's another squad. Then we get kind of like a circular effect. Do we move into turn-based combat?
kings.
Another effect. And this kind of curvature tear, this reminds me of Persona 5 Tactica into combat screen tear. So obviously the teams are sharing information how to produce effects. Good job, guys. It's always good to communicate with each other. Always.
Weakness.
And there we are. So, and now we're into a turn-based combat mode, and this is super interesting. So we actually have both party members at this point on the field in the turn-based combat. This is a Homo Oppo, which is kind of like some giant inside of an egg with a spear through him, about half HP at this point. And our protagonist, our protag, has a skill called Power, Melee, Wield Arms, Item, Use Supplies, Pass, Yield the Turn, of course, and Guard, Raise Defenses, and then a retry, Turn the Clock Back. Turn back the clock. That's interesting. So, do we actually have the ability in combat to say we made the wrong choice or a choice that we didn't really want, and so we can just like go back a turn? That sounds like easy mode to me. Doesn't sound like SMT or Persona. Your action is your action. But this is like, you know, all the rage these days to have a retry, turn back time, clock. I understand it. The days of grinding are mostly done. Kind of sad, but that's the way it goes these days. Of course, I mean, you can make your own mental rule never to use that, which I will do, of course. Anyway, moving on. And the fairy just popped up. Does she have, and I think that we're doing a skill. I think this is a skill flare. So maybe the fairy is linked with your skill. Like if you call power with a skill, the fairy comes out and then helps you with that attack. Let's see. I didn't even see what happened to her. What happened to her? Should we slow-mo it? Nah. She did something. I took 26 hit points. You know what? We'll slow that down on the redux, on the cut, on the edit cut. She went up and off the screen. So she's not in the midst of the combat. She's just like getting the hell out of the way. Getting a higher vantage point. Our fairy drone. She's like a fairy drone. All right, 26. So here's where the big deals comes in. The big deals come in. Character designer Shigenori Sojima. Notable works: Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5. So we know where these characters are coming from. This is like the top of the crop at Atlas.
The people of my land desire a new king.
And concept artist, this is really interesting. Concept artist is Kota Kazuma. The notable work is Nier Automata. My gods! And we know what Nier Automata is. It's fucking incredible. Replayable. Almost to the infinite. That is good news. That is incredible news. Absolutely incredible news. Some people say Nier, some people say Nier. Some people say tomato, some people say tomato. Some people say automata, some people say automata. Whatever, dudes.
And I shall.
And look at that. I mean, there are just so many things. This is a downward turned face looking at the ground. You've got to really like stretch your mind. And this artwork, what I've noticed is that it's very Geiger-esque. If you don't know who H.R. Geiger is, go look him up. He's the artist that did all the concept and actually a lot of the real world stuff for the Alien movies, at least 1 and 2. One of my favorites. along with Crowley and Michelangelo. So this is what you can do with these cell shaded. That's what the term is. Cell shaded animation, cell shaded models. So this really gives them the ability to put their artistic flair into the characters. These characters are all probably, you know, Waldo 3D modeled off of people in the Waldo Studios. When I say Waldo Studios, it's an older term. For the people that are 3D modeled, you know, by projection cameras. They put on the skin tight suits. They have the green lights on them, or the green stripes, and you know, all the dots on them, and then they can 3D map them into a computerized 3D world. But the cell shading gives them the opportunity to actually take that beyond and make it look less realistic and more of the artist's imagination, which is what we have right here. Look at this guy. And the composer, Shoji Meguro, also Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne, Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5. This is the guy that makes those songs stick in your head, especially SMT 3, Persona 3, and Persona 4. Not sure what he was trying to get at with Persona 5. Lots of memorable tracks, but the former three that I mentioned are absolutely the ones that stick in your mind the most. And this guy on the screen right now, what is he, a half elf? I mean, he's got a pointy ear, but it's not a long ear. And he looks like frackin' Marlon Brando from The Godfather, which I'm pretty sure that's who he's modeled off of. And this guy looks like, what's his face? This guy looks like what's his face from the terminal in SMT3. So there seem to be a lot of cameo performances here. Cameo animation performances. This guy looks like one of the first or second, you know, antagonists from SMT3. The guy who just stands there and taunts you and you finally fight him in a temple of fire. Yeah. This guy, who knows, looks super badass. This. This. Yeah, that's the shot. This one, apparently a dude of maybe the rabbit people. Who knows? But he looks like, this guy reminds me of the Demi-Fiend's friend, the guy who wears the hat. That's who this guy reminds me of. So like I said, there are cameos through here, just enough to get your memory going. And this, what the hell is this? This is like, I don't even want to say. It's like a Morgana character. And it's just so strange. It's like alternate reality Morgana, like steampunk Morgana. Inverse steampunk Morgana. That's hilarious. Maybe I should take a screenshot of this. In fact, I will screenshot this. And then I will inverse it and see if that holds true. Let me just screenshot this. Hold the phone. Got the shot. All right. I'll inverse that. Maybe that will be the cover picture. And our mechanical designer, Ikuto Yamashita. Notable work, Neon, Genesis, and Evangelion. Holy crap! The original. And you'll see this as we progress. So the mechanical designer, meaning that he's making the mechas, And you'll see what I mean. It's very Evangelion-esque. This is the guy who drives a machine across the desert and takes the party places. And you can see the effects of the Neon Genesis Evangelion here. You kind of have the blend of mecha and biomecha, which is an H.R. Geiger term. Yes. This guy did the same sort of a thing, but with the anime style. Not as dark, but dark indeed. The protag. And we see here that he's moving into the royal capital of Grand Trad. So that possibly is the completion of the quest, or the mission that we saw before, was reach the grand capital, or reach the royal capital. And we will see some shops and different things in line here in a moment. So right here with people talking, again, here's some information. Days until the day of calamity, 10. So there's obviously a time cycle happening here where you have to perform certain missions, certain objectives within a set amount of time, which is like Persona 3, Persona 4, not really Persona 5 too much. I mean, yes, no, I mean, kinda. But I mean, Persona 3 and Persona 4 were really time-based. Your Mecha and SMT3 was important by the phases of the moon, but P3 and P4 really did that because in P3 you had the moon cycle, P4 you had a weather cycle, days before it rains, so obviously we have that same kind of mechanic at play here. The days here, 0612, it's about a week after that initial 06 date, but it's also Water's Day, and it's night, and it's 10 degrees Celsius. So it's pretty chilly. Pretty chilly. In Celsius, 0 degrees is freezing, and 100 degrees is boiling. And the way that you estimate Celsius to Fahrenheit, or Fahrenheit to Celsius, if you're going Celsius to Fahrenheit, and I hope they have an option to change this in the menu to do either Celsius or Fahrenheit temperatures, because it's easier for, you know, people in different countries if they just see it for what they know it as. But the general rule, I mean, there's a formula to calculate Celsius to Fahrenheit, but the general rule is to just, if you're Celsius to Fahrenheit, just times it by 2, and then add, you know, 0.5, you know, something like that. You know, you just estimate, you're going to get close. And of course, if you're going Fahrenheit to Celsius, it's divide and subtract. So basically that's what it is. And we have somebody saying, yes, 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 this is how it should be. The night market's so much more alive. This is how it should be, which means that in some other place or sometime before, it wasn't like this. A couple of notable things. The minimap obviously shows some shops that we can see ahead of us. So behind us is this thing that looks like a hamburger, so maybe we came by a restaurant. Ahead of us is this cleaver and a piece of meat, which obviously is probably an ingredients cellar. And then there is another hamburger looking icon up ahead, which is this, which is probably just a food joint. Replenish. Then we have this guy standing over here who looks like a trader of some sort, but he doesn't exactly have an icon on the map. We do not know what this teardrop is. And of course, our dear old fairy, our dear old pixie is flying along with you. And the protag is on a skateboard, hoverboard, sort of a deal. what these people are saying are not important. Gab, gab, gab. Hey, hey, hey. Whatever. And we can see that a little bit more clearly. And he's got some strange colors happening on his clothes, which will look a little bit more important later. But this reminds me of like Demi-Fiend stylings from SMT3. And yes, our pixie is looking good. And we are in the royal capital of Grand Trad. Regolith, Grand Central area. And prepare to battle the Necromancer. So that makes sense. Well, it doesn't make sense, but I mean, obviously we're preparing to battle the Necromancer. And so we have shops and stores, and we have to get our gear and supplies in order. Very nice.
This speech is a
Oh, what was that? So we're on a soapbox or a platform talking to townsfolk.
speech is a
And he managed to win. We gotta go back. Okay. What should I say to reach the public's heart? Let's promote local delicacies. Let's place more effort on tourism. Let's put more power into industry. So wait, is there a town building mechanic here? And these obviously sound like regular standard Shin Megami Tensei good, evil, neutral choices, although they're not ordered that way. I will leave it to you to figure out what good, neutral, and evil of these three are: delicacies, tourism, or industry. But obviously there's a choice to be made, and if that has ramifications, maybe in the Persona style, like rumors, like if you choose delicacies, you're going to get better food items. If you choose tourism, you're going to get more, I don't know what, just more love from the people. If you choose industry, you get more money, more maca for things that you sell. But I don't know. But he's choosing let's promote local delicacies. And he's trying to reach the public's heart. So like he's trying to decide what the people want, what they're lacking in their lives. And I think the overarching story is that this character, the protag, is trying to replace, I guess, the king that was slain at the beginning of the story. And he has to go through certain trials, which is what this game is about, to become that king. And then he can shape the world into the fashion that he wants. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. All looking good. We have humans, an assortment. Humans, cat people, horned people, ear people. I mean, I don't know what to call them. I don't know what they're calling them yet, but ear people, horned people, human people, cat people. I can't call it anything other than a cat person. Very stylish. I love the clothing that all of these people are wearing. Yes! I guess he stole their hearts in the Persona 5 Phantom Thieves way. Hopefully this won't be as talkative as Persona 5. That game has too much dialogue going on. P3 and P4 were like the perfect balance of dialogue and gameplay. Just get to the point. I managed to win the hearts of the people. And now, our mission is head to Port Brilehaven, 7/18, Arbor's Day, night, 20 degrees Celsius. Seems like we've got quite a jump here on our hit points. 322 hit points, 238 MP. So, I don't know. Those previous screens were level 1 action, which was like 135 and 75. So this is probably level 15 or level 18, something like that. And we're on the Gauntlet Runner Central Corridor, which is that larger machine that we saw the guy with the white beard. That's the thing that he drives, which transports them from area to area across the desert wasteland. And it looks like we're moving into a chamber here with some other people. And the fairy is on our shoulder. So maybe that's what she does inside. She just hangs out like a parrot on your shoulder. There we see the red-headed ear girl. Don't know what this icon means. Maybe she's thinking. Maybe she's playing a game. Who knows? She's playing a game. So maybe there's a mini game in here where we use these pieces to play on this map. And it's optional to play these people, so it would be like, you know, any other card or board game in a video game. We're going to get back to her in a minute, because she was the original character that they did for the art. Long time ago. Long time ago now. But it looks like we're going to go up this ladder to the watchtower. So the A button on the A button on the Microsoft Xbox controller, I believe, is the X. It is comparative to the X button on the PlayStation controller. Mission, head to Port Brawlhaven. So this is between, I don't know, we could probably like look back earlier in the trailer, but there was, I think this actually links up. So we'll see if they give a shot of a world map, and then we can like place these cities and kind of like track, you know, where the party is going at the specific points in the trailer. Seeker, I think that's the class that our protag is right now. And this minimap is interesting as well. So something, this, I think this is a game, and this is probably the ladder that we're right in front of right now. Up we go. All right. And then we have some gameplay stuff. Hey, Pixie's looking great. Protag is looking surprised. That bluish black hair is still giving me the P3 vibes. Yeah. Incredible anime animation. I love the style. Absolutely love it. Here we get a good shot. A couple other party members. The red-headed ear girl and the grayish blonde horn boy. Ear girl and horn boy with the amber eyes. Yeah. We'll get to them in a minute. All right. So this shot. I need to take a picture of this. So this particular image right here is total P3 to me. Because you have the protag from P3, Persona 3, you have Mitsuru, and then you have Akihiko, right? Who doesn't see that in this image? This is completely Persona 3, protag, Mitsuru, and Akihiko. Totally. I mean, I don't know what their classes are, but that's what this image harkens back to. Good things are ahead for this game. Great things.
Abuser!
Director, Katsura Hashino. Of course, of all the same notable works, Shin Megami Tensei 3, Nocturne, Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5. So it's like the band is back together on this one. Everybody who's anybody is back in on this game. And so the rest of it is just gameplay.
The world united as one tribe.
We've only had
Some new character names. Hey, Metals Day. 7/19 is Metals Day. So we can probably go back and figure out the days of the week based on the dates, the month, and the day. And then what day of the week it is. 30 degrees Celsius. That's warmish. I'd say it's about 75 degrees. And we're heading this, so this is still on the head to Port Brawlhaven mission, which might be the same, it might be different. And we're on the Gauntlet Runner deck. Got the ferry, we got the Horn Boy, looks like he wants to play a game, maybe. And then we have a rabbit goblin character here named Stroll. I don't know who Stroll is. It's one of these characters. Maybe it's this guy, because he's got the ... over his head. Talk to Stroll. Alrighty, and we're back at HP 322, 238.
lives with anything.
And Heisme. Okay, so that's not Stroll. I guess Stroll is the Akihiko character. And this character, which looks like the inverse, similar character to the inverse Morgana, Heisme. That's how I'd say it. Heisme. Sounds like the winds changed. A sure sign we're nearing the ocean. And another good neutral evil choice from Maria, or Maria. I'll call her Maria. I'll make a new sign. This one will have Papa and Miss Fabienne and me and you all smiling together. Angel Girl, Maria. No idea where she fits into place, but what a great style. That's a great idea. Or, you don't need me there. Or, it's the whole family. So apparently, we've got some sort of family dynamic going on here, which is interesting. She's got a very interesting dress on as well. What does that remind me of? We'll come back to that. Cooking? Cooking. Red grass roasted bidou. Consists of bidou meat, pristine clear water, and red grass. Then we have other food items. Curative coney roast, coney stew, holistic whitefish platter, critical meatballs. Sounds like something you might be able to throw, or maybe you eat it and it ups your critical hit rate. Steadfast stew, probably protection of some sort. Precision fermented ribs. And stale black bread. Yeah. And we can see that the red grass roasted bidou gives us 400 hit points and cures burn for one ally. Oh, status effects are in effect. And we're here at 1 minute 8 seconds of 1 minute 48 seconds. This is a super dense, highly packed fracking trailer with just incredible artwork. And I understand this language that we see up here, this actually corresponds to an actual language, so it can be translated. I'm sure people will translate it all. And this bowl right here is a fish head and some chunks of stuff. Looks like a spoon. Something else, maybe a vegetable. Fuck. This game is going to be fucking crazy. Crazy good.
Alive satisfied.
And the cooking scene? Stroll. Okay, so the Akihiko character's name is Stroll, Horn Boy. And he says when he's cooking the food, this Badu that heals 400 HP and takes away the burn effect, he says heat control makes all the difference with meat. Ready? This is the moment we've been waiting for. And it looks like we're on shish kebab. Nice. 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 Artwork is just fantastic. Juna. Juna, so it does. One wrong move and we'd be dead. But it's thanks to you. Oh, fuck. But it's thanks to you. She awakened her archetype. I think that's what it said. Let's just go back. Yeah. That awakened her archetype. So the persona, or the demon effect in this game, I guess, is probably called archetypes. Archetypes. Hey, it's the world map. And we're centered right now on, I guess, a place called, well, wait a minute. So we're on a mission to wait for the path to Brilhaven to open. Days until a path opens, 12. So I guess we have to fuck around for 12 days before a path to Brilhaven opens up. But there's probably much to do in those 12 days, as there were always many things to do in Persona 3 and Persona 4 and Persona 5 before you had the main battle. But here we see that we are, oh, we even have weather reports on the world map. So over here it's cloudy, it's cloudy, it's cloudy, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Oh, that's interesting. So weather probably does play a factor in this. And then we have these diamonds with arrows and a number. I wonder if this is like how many side quests or quests you have at each location. But getting back to this, where we're centered right now is apparently a city called Martira. Martira, a city on the main road between Grand Trad and Port Brilhaven. So this has got to be, so the only water that we really see here is here? No? I don't know. Anyway, the old castle looming over the city center is an incredible sight to behold. And the mission here, okay, so we got this little quest or mission diamond with an arrow and a 1. And the arrow, of course, corresponds here to here. And the mission there is apprehend the real kidnapper. Ho! The drama is high. What was that? We got a little flash. Something else. Oh, fuck. Okay. Ooh, this over here in this stand of trees with one quest that we're not going to be able to see what it is. Imp's Den, a forest path long disused since the nearby colony was driven to ruin by monster attacks. Now the only inhabitants are raiding Goborns. Raiding Goborns. The hell are they? And if I can click it quick enough, maybe we'll see what the actual quest is. Nope. We're not going to worry about it. This scene, full party over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the fairy makes 8. So that seems like a full party. You've got 7 actual combatants, and you've got 1 fairy / pixie helper, which makes a total party of 8. And we're here on the Colorodeo Cliff, or Colorodeo. It's probably Colorodeo. Sounds like Colorodeo. It's the Colorodeo Cliff, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, the Colorodeo Cliff. Yeah. Pretty nice place. Looks dangerous. Looks like you could fall off.
There was a plot in his life. One I wish.
So, looks like there's going to be some quick time elements in here, like hurry and cross the bridge. And the mission is get through the tunnel. Somebody, whoever this might be, says, eyes forward. Hesitate now and you're guaranteed death. So it looks like just a straight shot. Just run your ass off. On the Nord Mines Miners Bridge. Indeed.
One I wish I
And this giant thing kind of reminds me of Attack on Titan, possibly. But I don't know. We have another screen here of turn-based combat. The Mitsuru character, who appears to be a knight. The fairy. Oh, it says that now. Archetype call power. Maybe I missed that before. And then synthesis team up. Oh, interesting. So this must be much later in the game, or maybe something was unlocked between characters, and you have something called synthesis team up to do a combo attack of some sort. And then again, Homo Avades, again, just really strange looking monsters in this game. And what is this? So this must be like turn-based counters, and then what is this strange thing? And the mission is attack the heart. So this whole thing looks like a heart. And if it's part of that Titan-looking creature from before, how strange is that?
You're the right.
Oh man, there's just too much in this video. Night Warrior. Okay. Jump thrust. So Knight, synthesis Knight. Jump thrust deals medium physical pierce damage to one enemy, lowers their defense for 3 turns. Nice. Costs 6 MP. Jump thrust, Hammer of Justice. Somebody's losing hit points. So this must be front 1, the Knight. It's the Mitsuru chick that I don't know her name yet. Knight. All right. There it goes. Oh, that was like an archetype attack because that doesn't look like her, but they all have this like glowing stuff on their joints, which is kind of like demi-fiendish. Like this. Look at this. I think this is the pro tag. Unleashing some sort of power, but this is like total demi-fiend. Total like demi-fiend-esque decorations. Might be a cool shot. Fuck. Try it again. Yeah, right there. Screenshot that. another horn woman.
Let's see what
And then you have, and then you have it. There you have it. Social links of some sort. New Bond. I wonder if that's an actual like social link, or if it like a persona social link, or if it is just joining the party. Only time will tell.
Let's do it. You'll be a hero. Trust me.
Oh, and that right there. Right there. The total Evangelion shot. That dude from Evangelion doing the Mechana. The Mechana. The machine designer. Hell yeah. Taking that shot. One moment, please. Absolutely fantastic. I love Evangelion. Those are my top two animes. Berserk, original, and Evangelion. The original series plus the original movies. And I do like 111, 222, and 333. I do like those as well. But the originals are always better. And I think it's just the rest is cake. And that's what it is right there. Oh my God. It's gorgeous. Metaphore, ReFantazio. And that's the cut.